My name is Cheryl McQueen. I was born Cheryl Elaine Smith in York, Pennsylvania. I was born in York Hospital. I was born to Nancy Joanne Schaefer Smith and Jesse Edgar Smith II. My birth date was March 1st, 1965. We lived in York my entire life. I went to North Hills Elementary School, and then I went to North Hills Junior High, and then Central York High School, all of them in York. I only lived in two different houses growing up. My dad was an accountant, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom until probably I was in 7th grade, maybe, and then she went to work part-time. My grandparents on my mom's side were born in Pennsylvania as well, and they were from Lancaster County. My grandparents on my dad's side were also born in Pennsylvania, and they were born in York County, I think. My grandpa on my dad's side and my grandma on my dad's side were both bankers. And then on my mom's side, my grandma was a teacher and my grandpa was a truck driver. That's about our history.
Hello, my name is Nancy Smith. I was born in York, Pennsylvania, December 24th, 1939. I was the daughter of Walter and Parthene Schaefer. I have two brothers and one sister who, along with me, were all born at home. My mother's family had roots from Saxony, Germany, arriving in the United States around 1858. My father's family also came from Germany around 1794. My mother was a school teacher. My father was a truck driver. We had close family ties with lots of aunts, uncles, and cousins. We spent lots of time together, involved in church activities, and just having a good time, especially around the holidays. We always had a house full of people. I was always a city girl. I grew up in York City, attended York City School District my entire 12 years, graduating in 1957. I immediately went to work in the commercial lending department of the York Trust Company until I married my husband, Jess E. Smith II, in 1961. We lived a year in New Jersey where I worked for the Trenton Trust Company. Returned to York and went back to work at the York Trust Company until the birth of our son Todd in 1963, followed by our daughter Cheryl in 1965. As a family, we did a lot of camping, which we all enjoyed. Usually we were with other family members and friends. When our children were in middle school, I worked part-time in the Central York School District as a cafeteria worker for 3 years. I then returned to banking full-time as an administrative assistant in commercial lending with the York Bank and Trust Company. Love to travel. My hobbies are knitting, cross-stitching, biking, and kayaking. Spending wonderful visits with our children and their families in North Carolina. We enjoy watching our grandchildren in their activities, a band, dance, softball, or whatever else they might be doing. In summary, I have to say my life as a child was a happy time where my family, church were very important. I tried to instill the same with my own family. Thank you. Bye.
Hello. My father, Jesse Smith, was born in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania on June 15, 1905. My mother, Edith Bergdahl, was born in York, Pennsylvania on September 5, 1903. They both attended Millersville Normal School, now Millersville University. They graduated in the mid-1920s and were married on July 4, 1932 at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. They lived with my mother's parents in York. While living in York, my mother was a school teacher in the city schools, and my father worked in the trust department of York Bank. I was born on May 9th, 1938 in York. I should have had an older brother, but he died at birth. In 1940, Dad was offered a job to run the Windsor Bank, so we moved to Windsor. I attended Windsor Elementary School, which had 4 classrooms with 2 classes in each one. I sang in the church choir and had a very happy childhood. In 1950, Dad was offered a job at York Haven State Bank as Executive Vice President. We moved to Strinestown, where I attended a 2-room school with 4 classes in one room and 3 classes in another. My parents retired from the bank in the early 1970s. My father died on August 27, 1978, and my mother died on November 21, 1997. I attended Mount Wolf Junior High School for grades 8 and 9 and attended Manchester High for grades 10, 11, and 12. While at Manchester, I had roles in numerous school plays and played soccer, basketball, and baseball all 3 years, lettering in all sports. I graduated in June of 1956. In September 1956, I entered Franklin and Marshall College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in pursuit of an accounting degree. In June of 1958, I attended York Junior College, Pennsylvania. While at York Junior College, I played basketball and was on the team that won the Pennsylvania Junior College State Championship. In September of 1959, I transferred to Rider College in Trenton, New Jersey. In June of 1992, I graduated with a BS in accounting. In December of 1958, I met Nancy Schaefer, who was working at the York Bank and Trust Company, and we dated until August 19, 1961, when we were married. We moved to Trenton during my senior year in college, and Nancy worked for the Trenton Trust Company. We moved back to York in June of 1992. Nancy went to work for York Bank and Trust Company, and I had numerous accounting jobs. I passed the CPA exam in April of 1967. We started a family in 1963 with the birth of our son Todd, and had a daughter Cheryl in 1965. While our children were in school, Nancy worked in the central school cafeterias. After the children graduated, Nancy went to work for York Bank and retired in January of 2001. In 1995, 2 men and myself started a door and hardware company from which I retired in June of 2000. During our retirement, Nancy and I enjoyed biking, kayaking, golf, travel, and reading. We have traveled to most of the 48 states, twice to Hawaii and once to Alaska. We have cruised in the Caribbean and through the Panama Canal. We have traveled to many European countries and also Bermuda. We enjoy visiting our son and daughter in North Carolina and attending the concert, dance programs, and softball games of our granddaughters. Thank you.